Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 3rd, 2020 meeting of the Gaithersburg Planning Commission. Relatively short agenda tonight. First up is the approval of our minutes from the May 20th, 2020 meeting. Is there a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes of May 20th, 2020 as read into the record.
Okay, was that Danny?
That's Phil.
Oh, Danny and Phil. We got 2 seconds, second and a third. All right, for the vote, Commissioner Wessel?
Aye.
Commissioner Hopkins?
Aye.
Commissioner Kaufman?
Aye.
Commissioner Winborn?
Aye.
And I will vote aye as well. And next up on the agenda is our consent agenda. And there's one item tonight for SP-8359-2019 construction of a 13,074 square foot CVS pharmacy at 311 Kentlands Boulevard in the MXD mixed use development zone. And this is compliance with the condition of approval. Do any of the commissioners have any questions for staff?
None. No.
No? Okay, is there a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, it's moved and seconded. Commissioner Wessel?
Aye.
Commissioner Hopkins?
Aye.
Commissioner Kaufman?
Aye.
Commissioner Winborn?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Thanks very much. And then that takes us to from the commission. So I will start with Commissioner Wessel.
I don't think I have anything tonight. I think I'm good.
Okay, Commissioner Hopkins?
Nothing for me tonight.
All right. Commissioner Kaufman?
Nothing for me.
Nothing. Commissioner Winborn?
Yeah, I wanted to address the most pressing current event right now. As you all well know, I grew up in the city of Baltimore, and as an African-American male, my brothers and I face many challenges being African-American in a city like Baltimore. So we know firsthand the sting of racism. And as a father of 3 sons here in Montgomery County, while Montgomery County and especially Gaithersburg is a wonderful place to raise a family with its diversity and its progressive culture, there still have been challenges. And I just wanted to say that we have some real work to do. And I know that we're all up to the challenge. I've had many of my friends and colleagues reach out to me and want to have a conversation about what's going on. And I really appreciate that, because this is a real serious issue. And it's up to us to work through these issues of systemic racism here in this country and not, bury our head in the sand. And I just wanted to address that as an African American and as a vital part of this city, because I feel that I've been respected. I've been disrespected in the past, but I've been respected, and it's real. It's real, and I'm challenging all of us to be a part of the solution. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Challenge accepted, Danny. Thanks for that. All right, and that takes us then to from the staff. And it looks like, Greg, there's an item actually on the agenda.
Yes, I'd like to update the commission on the city's temporary outdoor dining and curbside pickup process. As you remember, we discussed this briefly at our last meeting. As of 6 a.m. this past Monday, Montgomery County restaurants are now permitted to open to allow outdoor dining, and businesses are permitted to also open to permit curbside pickup only. To accommodate city businesses, we are currently accepting and issuing a new temporary outdoor seating and curbside pickup permit. The permit will allow restaurants on a temporary basis to place tables and chairs in parking lots, public parking spaces, and sidewalks. The permit will also allow businesses to establish temporary curbside pickup locations. The new permit is free to apply for, and any fees for associated temporary tents or sign permits are also being waived. Currently, the permit is valid until either September 30th or when the city terminates this temporary use, following when both the state and the county executive orders are completely lifted. With that said, if temporary outdoor dining and curbside pickup is still necessary after September 30th, we can extend the permit with a total maximum length of 6 months. Information on how to apply for the new permit can be found on the city's website, or can be inquired by emailing at plancode@gaithersburgmd.gov. And lastly, I'd like to thank the efforts of a multitude of departments and staff which contributed getting this permit together and out to the public. Special thanks goes out to the Director of Planning and Code, John Schlichting, Assistant City Manager, Tom Larnigan, Permitting Manager, Bobby Fulmer, Commercial Permitting Manager, Rob Emard, Planner, Chris Berger, as well as our City Attorneys, Lynn Board and Frank Johnson.
Great. That's good
Yep,
news.
and I'm available, and obviously Tom is here as well if you guys have any questions for us.
I just have one quick question, and maybe you can't answer it, or maybe it's not the right question to ask. But I was wondering, with this, outside dining, how does that impact, like, the having to wear a mask?
They still need to follow. Yeah, everyone still needs to follow all the guidelines, cities, social distancing and everything. Tables still need to be spaced 6 feet apart. It doesn't get, you still have to follow all those requirements.
Okay.
Greg, the signs I've noticed popping up in shopping centers where they now have designated spots for takeout, temporary parking. Are those signs permanent signs, or are those just temporary signs that'll go away eventually when we go through this transition?
They'd be temporary signs if they're associated with this permit.
Okay.
I do want to point out, in terms of wearing masks, obviously when you're eating, that's not going to be possible.
Yeah.
But as Greg was saying, the same other rules in terms of social distancing still very rigidly apply.
How are businesses finding out about this? Are they being notified? Is the city sending something to them directly?
Yeah, Tom Larnigan has been did some outreach to some of our businesses. It's been pushed out through our social media, and it's also there's a link on our website to it.
Great. All right.
I have a quick question. So Greg and maybe Tom, we have a number of districts within the city that were very purposefully planned out to have tertiary streets, maybe even secondary streets. Primary circulation can still exist, and we shut down a tertiary or secondary street for events, festivals, and maybe COVID outdoor dining. I mean, if we started to look at our infrastructure, which streets should be requested by the local businesses, to be closed for certain hours of the day in order to increase the ability to put out tables. Public right away. How are we looking?
Respond to that. Matt, we're open to that. We have actually had, interest from Peterson companies to potentially close parts of the streets in Rio. As I said, we're open to it, but emergency access will be critical. We need to, make sure that works. But that's all part of what we're trying to do here is open up more opportunities for expanded outdoor dining.
Yeah, I think, I'm not trying to make work for you guys, obviously, but there's some work for you to do that just sort of jumping ahead a bit and running it through fire marshal early on for some of those tertiary streets. I think, some of our original, design intention for a lot of things like the Kentlands and Old Town and some of the others were, to have a short block where you still get full circulation, you still have a truck well within 300 feet, 300 hose feet from either side, all that kind of stuff, and you can shut it down for, in my mind, we were always talking about occasional special event, not as large as like Old Town Day, but or whatever we're calling it now, but shorter, smaller things could happen as well, and I just love to see us be able to jump on it really quick, and maybe that involves just marking out what I'll bet you is only half a dozen streets. It can't be that many, and already sort of running them past the fire marshal to say, okay, these are on our A list of, if somebody needs it, somebody wants it, we can get there a little quicker than we would get there otherwise. Similar to what you just did, which is fantastic, is getting ahead of the sort of sidewalk permit piece, public right-of-way allowances and how to go about it, and getting that short piece out there is all perfect. But it just seems like another piece that I know Philadelphia is doing it, and a few others are doing it, and we could probably be ahead of that too. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but it'd be great to sort of know what those 5 streets are, so that so really John and Greg and Tom already have it on their list, and the fire marshal's already looked at it, and we have some idea of what those 5 streets are. So
I have a question, Greg. Will the outdoor permits also allow for temporary awnings for inclement weather and, for instance, heaters when it's cold? Are there any provisions for that, or is it just strictly, you've got some sidewalk, here's your ability to expand out, but there's nothing else you can do about it?
No, again, awnings or again, tents are allowed as part of the permit. There is a separate tent permit that needs to be filled out, but again, we're waiving the fee requirement for that tent permit. And it can be done concurrently and it's with the outdoor seating permit.
Okay. Thanks, Greg.
Real good. All right. Thanks for that update. Anything else from, and Tom, thanks for joining us, by the way. This is not a night for you to usually be tapped in, but thanks. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Yep.
Greg, John, anything else with
Just 2 dates for you guys. Again, June 15th, there's a joint public hearing on 700 North Frederick Avenue. And our next planning commission meeting is on June 17th.
Okay, good. John, anything tonight or?
Just real briefly. First of all, thank you, Danny, for your statement tonight. I think we're also hopeful that this moment in time will raise awareness exponentially, especially in the most diverse city in the world, and that real change can be achieved.
Right.
So thank you again.
Sure.
I did want just to brief you. We had today, Acting City Manager Enslinger and I hosted a meeting of the entire Department of Planning and Code Administration, and to talk about and discuss the plans for complete restoration of services. Most of our services have never actually stopped, and everybody's been working incredibly effectively from home. But phase 1 is scheduled to begin on June 14th, which is a Sunday. So City Hall will reopen on June 15th. It will be by appointment only initially, and we are encouraged to continue to hold virtual meetings, as your meetings will be held virtually for at least June and probably July. Masks will be required at all times. There are protocols set in place for cleaning and distancing in all aspects of the City Hall. And, it is unclear when phase 2 will happen. Obviously, the governor announced today on that Friday, phase 2 in the state will begin, but that will depend on what the county executive announces for the city and, what the city manager, the acting city manager puts in place for the city as well. But again, phase 1, City Hall will be open again to the public on June 15th.
Great.
That's all I have tonight.
Okay, thanks, John. Anything else? I guess, Greg, you're over in that corner. Anything else tonight, Greg, John? That's all we have? Okay. Anything from the commissioners? All right. Thanks for being on tonight. Quick meeting, but have a good week, and we'll see you at the next meeting. We're adjourned.
All right. Good night, everybody.